Welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Coangler Chronicles podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everyone that watched the last episode, man. It was my first episode, first time out there hosting the podcast thing. You guys know a lot of these ones I do where I'm talking to myself. I'm usually ranting, holding up a random bait that you guys have never seen. That's usually my deal. These ones I have actually a guest on here, so it's not just me going. So I'm super excited about that. I'm thankful. As you guys can see today already, got a guest out here ready to rock. Episode number 2 of the Coangler Chronicles podcast. Now, I do want to be clear. I know it's called Coangler Chronicles podcast. That's just to kind of give it some form of a direction, kind of where we can go. But we're all anglers on here. We're talking. We got everything: boaters, co-anglers, any kind of angler you can think about. Today, we actually have a Bassmaster Opens pro, none other than. And I can't put into words some of the stuff that I've seen this guy do. Like I've seen some of the things this guy does with the pictures that he shows us. Phenomenal, man. But his name, Jacob Bigelow. So guys, Jacob Bigelow, say what's up to Jacob. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. So, got Jacob on here, man. And do you go by Jacob or Jake? Because
yeah, you can call me Jacob. Yep, that works.
All right, Jacob's cool. All right, Jacob. So first time on the podcast. I'm so glad that you're here, man. Excited to talk to you today about some fishing. We're going to today, guys, we're going to kind of dive into a couple of different things here, kind of go a couple of different directions. But before we get into any of that, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, Jacob, how you got into fishing, let's say maybe what your favorite type of fish is to fish for, kind of give us just an idea of what it is that you do, and then we'll kind of go from there. So.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So my name's Jacob Bigelow, up here from Wisconsin, around the Sturgeon Bay area, about hour 15 from Sturgeon Bay. So that's always nice to be right there. So obviously my favorite species to fish would be smallmouth, just because I'm right here by one of the best small fisheries in the world for sure. So that kind of lines up to where I like to fish for sure. So I kind of started fishing real young, kind of started to slowly branch into tournaments in the 2015, 2016, got a little more going. Started branching high school tournaments, fished my entire high school years, Bassmaster and FLW at the time. So no, had good success there. Had one tournament win in FLW on Mosquito Lake, and kind of just branched on from there. So it was a good time.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I did take the liberty and taking a look at a couple of things for your fishing and what you've done, just to kind of give them a little bit of what we got going on here. You fished a lot in high school?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I fished a lot in high school. I did a lot of fishing around the house and kind of branching out, going around on certain bodies of water with FLW. They had more tournaments at the time than Bass, but made 4 national championships in my high school career. So I was lucky enough to compete in 4 national championships. So never won one, but it was always like, especially with FLW ones on Pickwick. I love Pickwick Lake, and we had 2 of them on Pickwick, and I think I finished 22nd and 20th in those. So it was out of like 450 or something. It was a crazy boat number, but
man,
had some okay success.
I've only heard about those the number of boats and some of those things, that it's an insane amount of number of boats on the water. Like where we have I think people consider like 250s a lot for the opens. It's like Absolutely. You're all fishing against four something, and then you're still in the 20. Like you're still up there though. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, and the biggest one. So that was the national championship and kind of world finals combined with that one. But the biggest one I actually competed in was on Lake Chickamauga. It was a Bassmaster high school event, and it was 350 boats on Chickamauga, and we finished 6th. So
wow, okay.
So that was a good event.
I bet, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So that kind of will lead. I guess we'll kind of go right into that, because it's one of the things that I noticed about you, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to have you on is because with the big changes in the fishing industry, kind of where they're going, where they're headed, they made the change to the qualifications to get into the Bassmaster, to the B Elite Series Pro, that type of thing. They made that change, and one of the things that when they did, a lot of people, you heard the grumblings, no, I can't believe this, I don't know, why would they do this, that type of thing. And then you heard some people were like, finally, a clear-cut path that I can like participate, lock in, and that kind of in my opinion, I felt like the way they did it, it prepares you for the next level. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like with any sport you do, when you're doing a sport, you don't play Parks and Rec basketball hoping that you're going to get NBA level competition, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
you're going to cross these little kids up and think you're the greatest guy in the world. Then you go play against a AAU team or something, somebody else on different. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Why do I even have a basketball? Mom, please let's sign me up for baseball next season. Like I've had enough. So I feel like, dude, it's kind of the way they did it is like you get the guys to do that 3 tournament deal. Some of them have made it. Some of them have been really successful, right? You don't take nothing away from that. But a lot of them just slip and fall away. They can't, the funding's not there, the wear and tear on your body, the whole deal. You get to that next step and you just like the traveling, who to travel, how do I get all this kind of stuff? And you're like, I don't know. But the way they got it now, they got 9, you fish the 9, then you just turn around and you've already got the funding, you already got the stuff, the pieces, and you just kind of roll right into it. So tell us a little bit. I know you did decide to make that decision this year, to fish all 9 and just kind of slide all your chips in the middle, man. See what happens.
Yeah, I could see when it first came out. So I fished the opens now for 2 years, and fished 1 division and 1 division. Did not fish, 2 divisions or all 3. I fished the Toyota Series in 2020 and made the Toyota Series championship on Cumberland.
Okay.
So I had a decent amount of confidence. I had 2 top 15s in the Toyota Series, and so I had decent confidence. Did okay the first year in the opens. Did okay, nothing crazy. But at first when they made the announcement, I was like, I don't know if that's the best route. Like, I don't know if that's the route they should be taking. I feel like it crosses out a lot of guys.
Okay.
But then I kind of started understanding where they were coming from on the perspective of there was the rumbling of how many guys were going to sign up for this past year's opens.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the decision to get a life membership. Yep. And I was waitlisted even with a life membership.
Jeez.
So, because I got early entry since I was a life member.
Okay.
And I was still waitlisted. So, and got in at the last second. Like I'm talking like the last second got in. So I can understand where they're coming from on that, because it lets guys fishing all 9 have more media outlet, because they're making it more of a series, I guess you could say.
Right.
So I can understand all of that stuff. And honestly, after ICAST, when I went to ICAST, I could really understand where the industry was and understand why it would be a good decision. So
it seems that like there's just something about it, man. Being a Bassmaster, the elite, just like the coverage. Because for example, I did I fished open last year, and my boater being Mike Iaconelli. So I make a video about it. Man, I kid you not, there has not been one tournament that I've gone to since I put that video out where somebody didn't come up to me and be like, dude, I saw you fish the Bassmaster Open. Every time, like no matter where I go, it's insane. It's just about like they recognize what it is that you're doing, that you're trying to achieve that goal, especially guys in the fish community. We already know, like, it's like, dude, you're trying to do the opens. One is considered, you watch a lot of different, I don't know if you watch a lot of different podcasts, but like LBL, BTL, these guys, man, it's the gauntlet, right? Like that's all they talk about, like how it's like never, you never get out of this like jungle that you're in. The Bassmaster Opens is like one of the toughest deals to win, but at the end of the day, somebody win them. Somebody come out there and somebody put it together, whether that be the local guy that just hops in, which he's going to have a hard time doing that this year because he can't hop in. It's going to be pretty, you see what I'm saying? They done got him, they done boxed him out of there a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any opinion one way or the other about a guy who lives there wanting to fish there, because that's what I like to do. I like to be really good where I'm at. You're really good where there's no problem with that. If they're like, just because you catch, one of my favorite things that I saw, 30+ pound bags of fish. Haven't caught a 30+ pound bag of fish in my entire existence in fishing the community as a whole. So what you did is phenomenal, but it's kind of like there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care. Like I think I've said it before in one of my YouTube videos. I don't care if Jacob Wheeler shows up to my Wednesday night. It doesn't matter to me. Let's go. I think we might be.
Right on. I have no idea what happened.
I saw the screen. The screen was doing some kind of weird thing. So when you left, I told everyone that you might have gotten upset because I called out another Jacob, and you're Jacob. I didn't know if that was you. Just was like, you know what, this guy, I've had enough of him. I can't
Right.
take
I'm
it.
like, boom, done.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That's nope. I've had
Right.
enough. You can't do that. But no.
Right.
I think we were saying. So definitely appreciate it. I try to explain what's going on. They for the derbies, like no matter what, especially the route you chose, from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be like the most stacked open field that's like ever been in existence. Now, I'm gonna bring that home real quick, put it all together. You're in the field.
Yep.
And I think you're part of the reason why it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to look at it like it's stacked because they got like this guy and that guy. They got like, you're in the field, like you're in the field. So like, you're that, like, sometimes you just, it's a mindset thing, right? Like you can get it done. You're ready. You're that guy. I'm the guy that's here. The stacked is, there's people that's been doing it a while. They're really good. You get to follow it, you're going to run into some hammers and all that there. But, dude, I haven't had the pleasure of fishing with you personally, but I know that some of the things that you've accomplished, because you have fished the Opens for 2 years, you have fished the championship. I took a look at the Toyota Series deal out in Cumberland, not Toyota Series, Tackleware championship that they had out of Cumberland. You got consistent finishes.
Cumberland was real bad. I was not a fan of that one, but
okay.
The entire year was it was a incredible year. God bless me.
Right.
A lot of finishes, and it was a year that I gained a lot of confidence in 2020. I was able to have really, like I said, really good finishes. And it gave me the confidence coming out of high school that I could do this and not, I can play with the guys that, me and my buddies always used to joke around in the high school series that you fish against like the daddy's waypoints, right? So it was kind of hard because no one in my family fished. So I was kind of coming up on my own, and some of my other Wisconsin buddies were coming up on their own too. So it was hard at times going against the kids that had the dad's waypoints and stuff, because they would just run to that.
Okay.
We had an event that there was kids that wanted that. They didn't even know what they were using. They had asked their dad on stage what they're using. We've had I've been a part of some crazy stuff. So
I got you. Okay.
So it was hard coming up that way, but it allowed me to learn more, I guess you could say, and not rely on anything and learn by trial and error, I guess.
Okay.
So it worked out, I think, in my favor for sure. So
that's why I say,
just
even
going off that and
just to get there,
my mindset,
like to get to that, to get to the championship, to get to the high school championship. It's like some people don't have that that experience.
Yeah.
So they're like, they don't.
It was good.
You're still, I think you're still good. So they don't have it like, so when it comes to like a pressure situation where you're in the Opens, it is day 3. Like there's some guys that they've never gone through that at all. They have no clue. So they get there and it's they're trying to figure it out. And you've got someone like you that have done, I'm pretty sure you've done plenty of 2 days, maybe 1 day, some big tournaments, things like that. So this is just, you're just going fishing at this point. You know what I mean? Just getting out there, putting your best in there. So.
Yep, absolutely. No, it's I kind of just go with it at this point. I had 3 decent seasons, coming right out of high school. So it's been a ride.
Gotcha. Well, no, that's phenomenal, man. Like I said, it's definitely for that. Of course, I'm going to be there at 3 of them, so I'm going to see exactly how things go.
Absolutely.
And I see you. Of course, we're going to encourage, and probably will want to go ahead and well, before I get into that, is there anything else that you're fishing this year besides the Opens? I know a lot of people are wondering, like, I'm all in for that, but is there still if you're free, you're doing the Wednesday night, the Tuesday nighter, you still hopping in some stuff like that, or is it just we in the Opens and that's it?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely hopping in some local stuff.
Okay.
There's certain local tournaments that I've fished for years now, and I try to get in every single Sturgeon Bay tournament I can.
Okay,
that's
makes sense.
Where I feel confidence and I've had the best luck with out there. But It's kind of fun. Honestly, at this point, I get more nervous for some tournaments around here than some of the opens. I mean, it's the camaraderie
Right, right. It is.
around here, and it's really competitive. It's fun. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the first year when I fished Toyota Series, it was a definite shell shock of
Okay.
coming out of high school and going straight into it and being like, all right, now I'm fishing against Matt Becker and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all the guys. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And the first day at Hartwell, I kind of sit down and just take a break and be like, whew, like, all right, this is going to be fun. We're going to be fine.
Right.
And luckily I had a good finish there, finished 15th or 14th or something like that. So
Okay.
I had a good finish there at the Toyota Series, and that kind of just, after that tournament, gave me the confidence knowing that, hey, you can fish against these guys, you can beat them, you're good. So
that's what's up. So that kind of leads me right into what we want to go with, because you mentioned that confidence and things that you have that you developed over your fishing time.
Yep.
I noticed you got a wonderful wall there behind you that probably got some goodies on it. I noticed that we both got the same type of shirt on here, so it's kind of is there a way that you that you're confident in? Like, let's say you're going to maybe like give us your top three without we don't got to do too much because we obviously competing against these people, but definitely some of them going to watch, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten in there where somebody's been like, hey, I know you, I've seen your videos on there. We're like, well, did you like them, or should I get off the boat now? Like, just tell me so before I go any farther. But is there something? Let's give us like three things that there got to be tied on your boat. Got to be tied on when you hit some of these places. Obviously, it's going to change. It's going to vary. Obviously, they're way drastically different bodies of water. But three things that are, let's say, always in Jacob's boat. What do you got to have?
Number one, by far, is the drop shot.
Okay.
I've come to love a drop shot. You can do more things than you think with a drop shot.
Okay.
Let's put that way. I've definitely been experimenting around a lot and doing different things with drop shotting.
Okay.
You can do a lot of stuff with the drop shot. So I would say that's number one by far, no doubt.
Excellent.
The second one would have to be a jig. Primarily probably the Omega Custom Tackle football jig.
Okay.
And orange, that one just kind of holds near and dear to my heart because of the Chickamauga day I had this June.
I'm about to say, man, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so that one kind of holds near and dear to my heart just because it has a good memory of that, and I love fishing offshore. That's just what I like to do. So having a football jig on, that'll be, I promise you, every single tournament I fish this year, there will be a 3/4 ounce Omega Custom Tackle football jig on one of my rods.
There it is. Yes,
I promise you that. I promise.
Oh, man.
It'll guarantee it'll probably be on my deck. So that's just what I have a lot of confidence with. So both of those will probably be on my deck. And then third, I would say third probably just a swim bait. I love throwing swim baits, like either a ball head with like a 3.8 Kitech or something like that, or even you get around bigger fish, throw a bigger swim bait. But to me, there's two of the best bites are dragging a jig on a rock or something. You feel the rocks, thump, and then you just have it slack line.
Yeah.
Or you're reeling that swim bait real slow and they just unload on it. I love a swim bite. So I'd say those three are probably what I'll roll with this year for sure. Man. I guarantee they'll be on my deck for all 9 opens. It's just a matter of how I fish them.
Just okay. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with those three. No. I would pretty much guarantee for the schedule that I saw, one of them three is gonna get you. I'm gonna put a few nice ones in the boat for you, for sure.
Yeah, right. Or something. So
there's no, because I throw. I think when I first started fishing, I started with a drop shot. Yep. Whereas most people start with a Texas rig or some kind of something. I started with a drop shot. So like I absolutely 100% love throwing the drop shot, and I agree. I do just out of curiosity. I know with the smallmouth, there's big smallmouth that you catch, and I see a lot of people with the open or nose hook things. I did that a lot, but I find myself donating a lot of tackle to the river. So I switched to a Texas rig one around what we fish, because I'm throwing it around lay downs and I'm throwing in some nasty stuff just like I would Texas rig. So that's where I'm doing it now. So it makes sense for me to Texas rig it, and I've never gone back to the open hook one. I'm gonna have to this year because we're going to St. Lawrence. I think Champlain, because I'm doing Toyota Series as well. So I'm doing a couple different things. Like, I think I'm going to have to open up that drop shot. deal. But for you, is yours mostly an open or a Texas rig? That's about all the juice I
Yeah,
get from there.
yeah, no, it's definitely if I'm fishing around any kind of timber, that's the only time I'll throw a Texas rig.
Okay.
That's the only time. I mean, I try to get away from a Texas rig as much as I can. I think you get a better hookup with, well, not,
Okay.
let me back up. I don't think you get a better hookup with a Texas rig, but I think you get a better action with just a nose hook. So just
Okay.
having just one small hook on the nose, I think you get better flow to any bait you're using. Honestly, not just a little worm or something. I think any bait you throw on just a normal nose hook, you get a better action, which you get more bites at the end of the day. But
Okay.
if I have to, if I'm fishing around really thick brush or something like that, for example, like Lake Hartwell, if I'm dragging the drop shot through a brush pile or something like that, I'll have a Texas rig.
Okay. Gotcha. Nope, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So that sounds definitely. I think you got the baits covered, and like I said, I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna leave the info where people can connect and follow with you as well, man, because I want them to follow on with the journey and cheer you on. I mean, like I feel like this is the time right now where because anglers are everywhere in different trails, different tournaments. This is where people are like they're connecting with anglers that they can kind of rock with, that they can see. Like the next Kevin Van Dam is out here somewhere, right? Like he's
Yes.
out here. I know he's out here. He's fishing somewhere right now. Like, and it's that's a time. So I definitely want to encourage them to connect with you. And I will give you a fun fact that I looked up that you may already know, but I did type in your name, and unfortunately, it didn't immediately pull up all your fishing greatness, but it did pull up an American physician with the same name as you from the 1700s. I didn't know if you know
Perfect.
there was a
Hey, hopefully I can get some fall down money from
dude.
that
I'm
because
telling you,
online opens not
I was
cheap.
like, what is this? Jacob Bigelow, a American physician, botanist, and botanical illustrator.
That's
I
me.
said, what in the world? That's you?
That's me.
Oh,
That's,
got you. Okay.
that's my secret.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. You got it.
Big announcement.
It's already up in there. It's already in there. I was like, what in the world? That is pretty interesting. But just messing around, just trying to make sure I got a good deal in there. But I did take a look at that. So we talked a little bit about your baits on the opens. We'll kind of dive in a little bit. I mentioned we got the same gear on, so we both are on the same team. That is the Omega Custom Tackle team here. Very excited to be a part of that team. A good group of guys. Was owned by Brad and Michelle Fuller. Now it is owned by Taylor Watkins, and he, as you can see, what Jacob's got on. Taylor's got some new clothes, some new gear out here. He's working on some new things for it. So I'm excited to be a part of the team. We got a really good group of guys there that can catch fish. Okay, we got a team out here that can catch fish, and I'm excited to be a part of that team, man, and excited to cheer on. I saw the other day you put up a post, and like I said, I'll leave a link to your socials and the thing. But the boat, so the boat got wrapped, and it looks very
Yep.
nice. The boat looks
I
very
appreciate
nice.
that. It was a dream come true having it wrapped. I've dreamed about that since I was a kid, and
Okay.
it was cool to come around the corner at the wrap shop and able to actually see my boat sitting there being wrapped. It was cool. A lot of sponsors stepped up this year, and that's something that going back to fishing online and kind of making everyone fish online to get to the elites. It definitely made me step up in getting sponsor obligations and sponsors and stuff. So I think what Bassmaster touched on when they were doing a podcast, I forgot which one it was, but Hank was on a podcast talking about it,
Okay.
and he touched on it. A lot of people once they got to the elites weren't ready if they fished just three, and they didn't
Right.
understand that just because you got to the elites doesn't mean sponsors are just gonna come pouring in with money. Like that's just not how it works.
Very true.
So I think it definitely made a lot of people understand or have to understand the business side of fishing more. And I've been very busy this off season, just put it that way. So
Yes, sir.
it definitely so in that realm I can understand where Bassmaster came from. So
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that, man. I'm excited.
yeah,
I've been following along with you, man. I see you pop up and you say that you're excited to be a part of and glad to be a
yeah,
part of. So with that that you've got working on there, tell us a little bit about who's
yeah,
rocking Jacob this year, man.
absolutely. So no, for sure Omega Taylor stepped up in a big way with Omega. His his visions for where he wants Omega going is I can see it, and it's exciting. It kind of brings a new life. That I can see. I mean, he's very passionate about this. He wants us to going pretty big. So
that's for sure.
It was good to get on. It was good to get on board with that. For sure. It was nice to kind of have that come along, and so that was huge. And I had AFCO. I've been with Omega for a couple of years now. But as far as new sponsors go, I got Kistler last year. I haven't had a single rod break. Everything's been flawless. So that was huge. So they stepped up this year as well.
Awesome.
AFCO came along as well. So AFCO, I'll be rocking with AFCO next year, and for the foreseeable future for sure. I kind of talked with the couple guys from AFCO at ICAST, and it's cool to see who they have behind the company, and really kind of what the company stands for and what they want to do. So stuff like that's cool. But yeah, Baitworks came along as well. Tackle store online and in store in Springfield, Missouri. So they got awesome stuff at really good deals. And talk about fast shipping. They got fast shipping. So
nice.
If you need a package, you don't have to pay too much to get to your door that quick. So it's pretty nice. So no, it's been a good journey this off season. Been, like I said, crazy busy, just working, sponsor stuff and trying to get everything set up for next year. So when the season starts, we're ready to roll. So.
Dude, that's phenomenal. So from listening to what you're saying, the companies with the they got some vision, they got some ideas, they got some thought process. I noticed that with AFCO. They came out with some really new stuff that kind of changed the way. Like, I can't leave the house without the AFCO, the Reaper hoodie. I can't leave the house. Yeah. I gotta have my stuff covered, especially when I'm doing them long boat rides. I just pull my little thing up, and I'm ready to rock, man. So I 100% see with Taylor. You've had conversations with him. I've had conversations with him. He is 100% about growing making it like the best that he possibly can, and pouring himself in, because he fishes just like the rest of us. So I think that's a big part. You got people that's in charge of your ship. They out there. They know what's going on. They know what tournament anglers are looking for, what they're trying to do. And then Kistler, I've seen them in a couple of things with the rods and stuff. So with the rods, I feel like you got to lock in on what's comfortable for you. There's so many companies out there. Like me, I'm with 13. Yes. I don't even look at Kistler rods personally. But that's just me but I rock with what I rock. Whatever fits comfortable in your hand and want to work, then y'all just go to work. Like, it ain't got to be that complicated, man. Just find something to work with you. They got the actions that you want. That's the key thing, the actions that you want. And like you said, they're not breaking on you in the middle of a tournament when you're trying to set the hook and get that.
Confidence is huge. Confidence in your equipment, I've come to know, is probably part of the biggest, reasons for success. You got to have confidence in what you're rocking with. So it's definitely, and especially with Trey Kistler being the owner and him being set in, a godly light, and the company being backed with, an owner that believes in God, is definitely huge too. So
that's one of the most, I kid you not, one of the most important things that I've found. Cause I've noticed, sometimes with what you're saying, not everyone's as receptive to that. And for one, I don't care, because I know what I believe, and I know what's going on. So you can be how you want to be. I'm gonna keep trusting and believing in what got me here. I'm not gonna take. We're not gonna take nothing away from that. But that is huge. No. You can get people that kind of connect with you in the core values. Yeah. They trust God. They believe in it. Because fishing, as fun as it is, there are some things out there that can happen that may not make your day go that great. So I gotta believe that I got a God that can look out. He can take care of any of the. He got it figured out before I even hit the water. We already good to go. So I think that's huge. But dude, that's it. That says a lot. And you mentioned Baitworks. I keep putting stuff in the cart, and then I don't hit submit. Then I put in the cart, then I don't hit submit. I saw they had a spinnerbait deal. I was hoping it was going to be a mega spinnerbait, but then it was like some kind of brand I never heard of before. So I was like, dang, I don't know if I want to order that, but I will do that. I'm gonna take your words. Did they give you some type of thing that you got to give?
Code so actually, if everyone watching too, if you guys want to use a code Bigelow-10, it'll save you 10% off in your first order. So save you a little money in your first order as well. So it'll help you guys out.
Okay, I will put that down in the description. That way they can check it out and use it. I'll be sure to use it when I go for. See, good thing I didn't hit submit yet. See,
there you go. There you go. Save you a little money.
go ahead and hit submit now. We're gonna go ahead and hit submit on that there. I think they got some jerk baits that I've been checking out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the jerk bait.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to another topic, and we're pretty much wrapping up. But you mentioned offshore fishing is one of your deals there. You know, the big hot topic, everyone's talking about it. I try not to mention it as least as possible, but are you one? Do you find that when you're dragging the jig, are you dragging the jig in a brush pile? There's something that's helping you locate where you want to throw that jig that might happen to show where fish are swimming at? Is that what you're using, or is that?
Yeah, no, that's a huge player.
Okay.
At this point, I mean, you can, I mean, if you're John Cox, you can fish without it. I mean, he can just, I mean, he sometimes didn't have a transducer on his boat.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, I think there's certain situations where you pretty much need it.
Okay.
At least what I've seen.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a good bit of reasoning why I fish offshore now. I mean, I put it this way: before I had forward-facing sonar, I fished offshore still.
Okay.
But now it's incredible some of the stuff I see and how fish react, especially up here with smallmouth. It's incredible. If you don't have it, you don't understand how my fish are actually seeing your bait on every cast. It's like mind blowing.
Okay.
You definitely see more fish for sure. So
see more fish, as in you have a massive headache when you're done because you couldn't catch the fish.
Yep.
That you see? Is it like you don't understand life in general because see so many? Okay, but then there are
a lot, but it's learning too. It's definitely a learning curve. I mean,
100%.
I've learned more the last, say, 2 years having that than I have any years past, just because it's so interactive and it's constantly showing you how they're reacting to it, when you need to switch colors. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. So Sturgeon Bay this last fall, I was fishing in 40 foot and I could see the smallmouth on the bottom lined up on this edge. I was firing to them, and I would get bit, and they would just drop it immediately, drop it, and they were never really chasing at it. Water was cold, but they were just kind of nipping at it and dropping it. I was like, man, as soon as I changed the color, because they weren't really acting, like they should, they weren't really getting it very good. As soon as I changed a small color, it wasn't even a big color change, small color change, first cast, he had down his throat. Second cast had down his throat, and that was every cast after that for like 20 minutes. It was insane.
Okay.
So I mean, stuff like that, it allows you to understand fish behavior really good. So
you wouldn't even have seen that they were getting it, dropping it. You wouldn't even have known. You to just kind of,
or thought it was small fish, because
right. Okay.
I mean, you can tell the size of it too, and I think that's really kind of helped me out too. Is the size of fish. So I mean, there's been times, I'll give you an example, on Lake Harwell during the Bassmaster Open in practice. If I went down there in pre-practice, and I've fished on Harwell a decent amount. When I rolled up to an existing spot, I would just drop the trolling motor and look at it. I wouldn't even make a cast, because you can just kind of see what the size of fish are on it, and how they're. So it's you can do more with it than people think. So.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I'm a proponent for, and I'm also. I'll just throw a spinnerbait and chatterbait down the bank and cut all that crap off. I mean, just for me, like I'm so weird about mine. I get like shallow as can be where my boat's on the bottom, and then I go through and like force press every button off because I don't want none of y'all on. I don't want to look at no type of screen. I just want to pitch out there, and then I hope some magic happens when I get out there. So it's just, but I think that has a time and a place with fishing. There's some times when you don't want all your stuff going. Then there's other times when it's imperative. It has to be. Otherwise, you're going to be the guy that comes back in early with no fish trying to beat the traffic, right? Like,
yep.
So it's kind of, I think it has its place, but for both times. I'm trying to see here I was trying to check on the deal here that we had coming up. I was trying to look a little bit at the schedule. So we got the first event for you in Bassmaster Opens is coming up on Eufaula. That's where we're going to try out some of these. We know we got a football jig. We got some sonar that's going to tell us what's going on. For Eufaula, how are you? Let's say for prep, because I know they got the off limit period now, which I think a lot of people really love, because those dudes that spend like 3 months down there practicing, kind of just burning it up. You get down there, and you got like 2 days.
Really beat the lake on. Yeah, it It was bad. I mean, the last couple of years fishing the opens, the amount of pressure that the opens, that we put on the lake was awful. I felt bad for any tournaments after. I really did. I mean, we smothered the lakes pretty good, but the guys were there for weeks practicing, and guys that didn't have weeks like me and would go down there for 5 days and versus a guy that had 3 weeks on it, there'd be a big difference. So it was nice. It was good to see.
I'm definitely think that's one of the things that must, and they might even shorten that period. I don't know. It just seems like they're here to just give you a couple of days and then just see who can figure it out quickly versus who can pin it all down. So for you,
we have 4.5 days.
So if you're let's say you're going down Sunday week of
so I'm going. Tournament is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm heading down on what would that be? That'd be Friday or Saturday, and then practice starts then. So somewhere in that range. I forgot exactly what it was, but so going down there and gonna spend as much time as I can, idle around. It'll probably be a little pre-spawn deal going on. Maybe if it gets warm enough, because it's the first week of March. It's just, we'll be down. Well, I'm heading down there in February, so it's still pre-spawn. It's gonna be cold. So, unless it gets really warm, I don't see the fish being too shallow, but definitely a fish brush. That's what Eufaula is known for in Alabama. It's known for brush. So, which kind of fits my style. I love fishing brush piles. So,
okay. So sounds like event number 1 is Mike could fall in the wheelhouse. Number 1 might get off to a good little deal there. So obviously,
out of all of them, I'm probably the most excited for that one in St. Lawrence.
That one, okay. St. Lawrence, about to say that's right back in the right back in the wheelhouses. That's you driving the bus on that one. I feel like you right.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I've never been there, but I'm excited.
Definitely. I feel like one of the things I learned from myself last year and just from overall from fishing was I tended to get myself a little bit worked up with the prep and being prepared and all that stuff like that, which is great, right? You want to put your whole self into it because this is what you chose to do, right? So you want to go all in. But I sometimes personally just forgot to enjoy the journey that is. So there is something about seeing a schedule, seeing a place and being like, I like that place. I want to visit this place and go catch some. So that way you don't get there and you're just like, this like a machine, like robot, like you you didn't enjoy the journey. You didn't see no sights on the way. You're just like, I'm going to this St. Lawrence and I gotta do cause obviously you have a job to do, but you're clearly going to clock in. You're going to go to work. You're going to put the trolling motor down and you're going to go fishing. That's part of it. But I feel like for me, I just even when I'm staying at the tournament, after I win the tournament, I'm there and people are like, dude, you won. Pretty sure you're going to win the tournament. There's like no one else to weigh in. I'm like, somebody else is in the parking lot. Maybe just go check for bags. Like, go check and see. And I saw one guy come around the corner with a bag, and I was like, no way. The last guy that walked up that slow is going to have a bag and beat me. And the bag of fish he had was good. I was like, no, man. Come on. This is like my chance. Luckily for me, he was the boater. The coangler that came up had 1 fish. And I was like, yes. Okay, now I can celebrate. Now we can kind of cheer. But I'm still stressed out. Even after I win, I'm still standing there. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know. Just kind of taking it all in, right? Because this is a big moment. I literally have never won a tournament in my life until the BFL, right? I never even won a Wednesday, Tuesday, Saturday, nothing until I got to the deal. And I'm like, that's a big deal. Just enjoy it. And then I call my mom afterwards, call my wife afterwards, and I'm just taking in the moment. And then since then, I've been like, I turned back into a machine. Like, I got to get back there and I got to try to do this again. And I'm like, just relax, man. When I won, I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, I just showed up and went fishing and fished. They like the Omega spinner bait. So then we took them and put them in the boat. And like, that's it. I just enjoyed myself all day. And it was like, even the night before, I didn't stress myself out. I just kind of relaxed, I couldn't sleep. I always have a problem sleeping before tournaments. I don't know what that is. That's weird. That's my thing, but can't sleep. Yeah, I'm like, the tournament needs to start at 11 p.m. Like, while I'm trying to fall asleep. Let's just lines in, fellas. Let's go.
Right.
I hate waiting until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m, then having to ride and talk and figure. I just want to just give me my pole. Let's get in the water, man. Let's go. But anyways, I'm excited. I'm excited for you, man. Like, I think this is gonna be really good. Now I did want to kind of just wrap us up here. I know we talked about your rods. I did want to mention your boat though. What kind of boat is it that you're running this year? Is there you got on that? I see it on your
so I'm running a Ranger.
Okay.
I got a Ranger deal actually after I had the good Toyota Series year.
Okay. Okay.
Through the boat dock. They approached me through the boat dock, so which is also one of my sponsors, the a boat dealership down in Elmira.
Okay.
They do amazing work. But I do want to go back and touch on kind of what you were just talking about, because
Okay.
I think a lot of people make it kind of like you're talking about, like a machine. Like, you got to do this. You just got to do it. Like, it almost makes yourself force you to do it. And a prime example of this, and this was something that I took away from this last year. I would say day 1 and 2 of practice on Lake Hartwell. I went down there. I pre-practiced there in August, so I kind of had an idea of what I was on. And in August, I was like catching them, like big ones, like largemouth over the brush on top water. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, some of the fish I was catching on, and I was like, man, like, if this could just stay like this. Well, it didn't. And day 1 and 2 of practice, I was pushing myself so hard to win. I was trying to force it, and I was miserable. Oh my! I can't even explain how miserable I was on the water. It was terrible. Had zero fun the first 2 days of practice. Like, not at all. Like, I was catching them, but was having zero fun.
Okay.
And I was just spinning myself down. Like, I was not a good person to be around those first 2 days, like at all. And I was on the phone with my parents, and day 2, I kind of just prayed about it. I'm like, just take it off my shoulders. Like, I need something that needs to change. Like, I can see where this is going, and the wheels are going to come off before the tournament. And I'm like, this is not good. So something's got to change. So I kind of just sat down and just took a time and just like, hey, like, chill, don't force it, let it be. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And that night, I was talking to my parents on the phone, and they're like, it sounds like you have like 50 pounds lifted off your shoulder. Didn't tell them anything. Didn't tell them I prayed about it. Didn't tell them anything. And they're just like, wow, sounds like you got 50 pounds off your shoulder. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I do. And I mean, it's crazy after that where my mindset has changed. I mean, it's just I'm not forcing it. And that's kind of me and Taylor Watkins were talking about. We had one on the phone call, and it's something that you kind of just leave it up to God, and whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. You can, and it's something we talked about. You can do everything. You can study maps like you're supposed to, and all that stuff, which I enjoy doing anyway. So you can do all that stuff. You can prep everything else, but then at the end of the day, when everything's going, you kind of just gotta, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So I think next year, I've learned a lot the last 2 years. So I think that's one thing that's definitely gonna apply next year, is just do what you do, and whatever happens at the end of the day is gonna happen. So
I agree 100%, man. You, like I said, you still putting in your work. You're still doing everything that you need to do to be successful, but it's not just weighing on, you know what I mean? Just like you said, just weighing on you, where you're like, because I had to imagine for Taylor, he put in a lot of work, but I don't think he planned on that day 3 going in that most recent NPFL where he caught every giant fish going on in there. He didn't even expect it that day. He said he wasn't even getting bit like that on that particular deal, man. But it worked. I mean, it just came out. He just fished free, enjoying himself, switching baits, different things just kind of came together for him. So I'm definitely excited for both of y'all. So I do want to kind of as we wrap up here just a second. I do like to end my podcast with asking random question. I may or may not tweak the random question because this is only my second episode, so I may change it and modify it a little bit. But for this one in particular, I wanted to ask you if you had one person that you could go fishing with, and we're talking everybody from, let's say you like Michael Jordan, or let's say you like the what's a Wisconsin hockey team? Is there a Wisconsin hockey team?
I don't even follow hockey.
The
only thing I follow is fishing.
Man, I was trying to give you something. What's a famous person in Wisconsin? I'm from Virginia. I have no idea what.
Other than Aaron Rodgers right now.
Oh no, no, oh no. No, Aaron Rodgers has no time to talk to you right now. He is trying to play football games. He cannot come go fishing with anybody. No. If you had to pick one person, one person that you could go fishing with, who would it be? And then why would you pick that particular person?
I mean, at heart, and I think it would be a fun time. At heart, I'm a Metallica fan, so I think that'd be kind of cool. So
Okay.
I mean, I think that'd be kind of cool to get the Metallica guys in the boat. I think that'd be a pretty insane day for sure. But
Man.
yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. But I mean, someone just out of the industry, I guess I'll pick Mark Zona probably. I mean,
Okay.
I've grown up watching his TV show, so I
Can
think
you
Mark
imagine
Zona
Mark
cool.
Zona and Metallica in the boat at the same time?
Now, now,
That would be nuts.
now that would be a party. I think that's encouraged. That should happen. So
That would be
yeah.
insane. I'd love to be the cameraman for that deal. That would be.
Oh,
Can you imagine some giant smallmouth and everybody just going? Oh boy, because I love all kinds of music. I am a musician. I play music all the time. That's literally what I do. When I'm not fishing, I'm playing music. So I love all kinds of music. That's too interesting. That's
yeah, no, I
two
mean,
interesting choices
I mean,
there.
I listen to two genres. I listen to Christian music and I listen to rock. So
Okay,
that's like
okay.
that's the two genres I listen to.
There
But
you go. Okay.
no, I'm a big Metallica fan, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
Man, okay. Well, that is a phenomenal. I'm still trying to figure out all the crazy sayings that I hear from Sona in this episode
Yeah,
of
that group would be a pretty crazy group on like
that
St.
would
Clair
be
or something going at it. I think that'd be
that would be
that'd be the
maybe.
destination.
Oh man, that would be pretty that would be pretty interesting. So I'm excited that you joined me on the podcast, man. Like I said, we will definitely be rooting for you, cheering you on this upcoming season. Team Omega in the house. We're ready to rock for 2023, man. It's going to be super, super exciting. Like I said, they've definitely got some stuff, but I'm excited to see where the Omega company itself just where it goes, because you see some stuff starting to turn up in here. So I'm curious to see what it can turn into. But I'm
It's gonna
sure.
get big. It's gonna get real big.
I think it is. I 100% believe that. So I'm glad to be a part of it. And we just gonna keep on rocking. But thank you, Jacob. I certainly appreciate you coming on the podcast. Be sure to tune in, everyone. The episode I upload my podcast every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. is when the podcast comes up. I will leave all the links below so you guys can check that out. And I also leave Jacob's the squad he's working with this season, guys. He's got a starting five lineup that's on his team that's phenomenal. So I'm gonna leave the links for all that below, so you guys can be sure to check that out. And then one thing I didn't tell you, Jacob, I actually am working on a giveaway. I was blessed this season to have a gentleman that did really well for himself in fishing, offer to pay for me to fish an entire division of tournament.
Nice.
So he offered that to me this season. I'm very thankful for that. He said God laid it on his heart to reach out and bless some people, and I happen to be one of the ones that he chose to do that. So I'm thankful for that. Now, what I'm commissioning myself to do is to then give that back to someone else as well. So I can't pay for nobody's whole season. I didn't win the Bassmaster Classic, so I can't be doing that. But I want to try to help with whatever I can. I want to try to give whatever I can to do that. So that's my plan, is to do a giveaway where I'm going to give a person a choice if they do fish a tournament. If they fish in the BFL, I'm going to pay for them to fish the BFL.
That's all.
And then, or I'll give an option if they don't want to do that. I'll give them like a gift card to Baitworks, so the same amount that I was going to do the other thing for. So I'll do the same thing, however they want, if they don't do tournament. But the reason why I mentioned it on this one with you is that part of what I'm doing to randomly pick the winner is I'm going to encourage them. Well, it's mandatory, but they have to follow you.
Right on.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of loop it around to where they're gonna connect with the people that I'm rocking with this year. Some of the partners on my team that I have, and then they're going to include you in it as well. So that way they can support all of us. And then again, we're just going to give something back to them and kind of just keep that thing rolling. I'm excited about it. I feel like when you are put in a position where you can do pretty well, it definitely helps to kind of just reach back and bring someone that wants to join and come with you. So that's a huge thing for me. I got a little 4 kids here as well, right? So I got 4 kids. So my job as a dad is I gotta teach them the right way that we got to keep this thing going. That way we're all in a good path. Yep. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming on. If you had something else, be sure. But otherwise,
that's everything. Follow along on socials, and it's gonna be a cool year. We'll see where God takes this. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, if you give them, what's your Instagram you're at, just in case they're just
So my Instagram is at Jacob Bigelow Fishing, and then my Facebook is just Jacob Bigelow. So follow me on those for sure.
Perfect. Will do. So I will get that information up for you guys. But I appreciate you tuning into another episode of the Coangler Chronicles podcast. Now, I like to always close my show, my final going with the tip for all my co-anglers. So I want to give you a tip that's very positive, encouraging. It's going to help you along your way as a co-angler. If you guys followed my tip in the last episode, your boater probably left you at the boat ramp. So you may not want to follow this tip per se, but this one has to do with the length of your rod. So make sure that all your rods are longer than 8 feet so that you and your boater cannot get in the boat. You have no space to go fishing. So once again, I may have left you with a tip that's going to get you left at the ramp. I apologize for that. In that case, don't do that, okay? I'm trying to help y'all, so I'm trying to give you something. But if you bring your bring rods that make sense, guys. That's my actual tip for you. Bring guys that make sense. 7 foot, 7'3", 6'8" if you can get away with it. You want the most space to be able to maximize your moving around area, because we've all been in a space where there's rods in the way. You can't even get to the fish on the boat. You're tripping over bags. So my Coangler Chronicles, what I'm teaching or working with coanglers on is bringing an appropriate amount of stuff, being that way you can be successful and maximize your time. So that's actually a good tip for you. Don't follow the first one, follow the second one. So Jacob, thank you for being on the show. I certainly appreciate it, man. Looking forward to the season. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Right on.
Peace.
See ya.
All right.